Welcome to True Crime 101 with Murder Friends. 3 friends from 3 different countries who talk about murder. My name is Anna, and I'm from America.
I'm Alana, and I'm from Canada.
My name's Hannah, and I'm British.
In addition to our longer episodes, True Crime 101 talks you through key true crime cases and theories. Everyone, welcome back to Murder Friends. On today's True Crime 101, we are going to cover the OG crime show, Forensic Files.
Yay!
So, today I got my information from Wikipedia, good old Wikipedia, and also from an article on Mental Floss by Jennifer Wood. Right, so I'm going to guess a lot of our listeners will know what Forensic Files is. It was very big in the US and Canada, and actually it was in the UK but known as under a different name, and maybe wasn't quite as popular as it was.
I haven't watched it.
And yes, so Hannah has not seen it. Well, I'll just tell you a little bit about how it got started. So it's an American documentary style show on how forensics are used to solve crimes, mysteries, accidents. Mainly, they cover murder investigations. The show featured interviews with witnesses, investigators, scientists. The format usually starts out, they have an interview, usually with like a witness or a family member or maybe a detective in the case. They do reenactments, and the reenactments are they're not like straightforward reenactments. They're always kind of like off a bit. They're not really, it's hard to explain. And then they go into a lab, like they'll show stuff in the lab, and usually the lab footage will be more like real life. And actually the producer of the show that said that this was on purpose because they always wanted people to know what was actually the reenactment and what was like what was real. So the series ran from 1996 to 2011, and there's actually 406 episodes.
Oh my god.
That many?
Which I can believe.
Have you watched them all?
Probably.
I feel Forensic Files was like my go-to fall asleep TV show. So I bet after so many years, you just cycle through all the episodes.
Exactly. So I know that I started really getting into it in the 2000s. I don't know. It's probably like 2006, 2007. So I used to live in Miami, and I worked in like nightlife. So my nights off, it was hard to go. I mean, I'd finish work at like 4 or 5 a.m. So even on my nights off, I was, I'd be at home, and it's not like I was going to go to bed at 11 o'clock because obviously...
Were you not in bed by 9:30 with a little cup of tea?
No, that's now. How things change. So, I mean, they would do Forensic Files reruns, like 2 a.m. There I am.
That's prime.
That is prime forensics. Yes.
Time.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Was it for people who were like, didn't sleep, or people who were coming home from a night out and were like eating toast on their sofa watching it?
Both. I think it's pretty flexible. Yeah,
amazing.
Definitely. So when the show originally aired, it was called Medical Detectives. It was to be focused mainly on disease outbreaks and accidents, but the murder investigations were way more popular. And so in 2000, they changed the name to Forensic Files. Now, I think the biggest thing we have to talk about is the narrator, Peter Thomas.
Yes.
Can one of you do an impression?
The fingerprint on the door turned out to be the neighbor. It's like really dramatic.
It's so dramatic.
He's very dramatic, but he's also very monotone. And he talks, and the fire was put out by the department, and everybody died.
You could turn that bit where you said the fingerprint on the door into a soundbite, and we can insert that in loads of stuff.
That's really great.
Patrons of a local bar indicated that Huffman was there drinking that night and left the bar sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m.
So the producer, Paul Dowling, said Peter Thomas was his first and only choice as narrator. He wanted to bring legitimacy to the show, so that was the only person he wanted. Because I think Peter Thomas had like a 50-year career doing voiceovers and narration, documentaries, and everything. He also shared that Thomas would rehearse the script for several hours with his wife Stella the night before recording. Stella literally got in-person Forensic Files every night. Like, how amazing is that?
Yeah, but he's also doing the same voice when he's like supermarket shopping or
yes.
He's like, I'm going to.
Yeah,
I don't want to carry on.
I committed there.
But my penis.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Amazing. Well, that's what I said So my notes here, I just like, can you imagine living with Peter Thomas? Yeah. Exactly. I feel like everything he says, I'd take it really seriously. And it was like, you come in and it was like, how was your day? And it's like, oh, I went to the post office. And you're like, and then what happened? Everything's so dramatic. But mainly, I think his voice is just, like, I put Forensic Files on to go to sleep.
There is something very soothing about he stays, like, it's not complete monotone, but he stays close to one tone, so it's never too loud, it's never too shouty or surprising. It's the perfect show to fall asleep to. It just lulls you to sleep with his murder stories.
It's great.
How we all sleep, though.
But then it's also like, what does that say about me? puts me to sleep every night. So, little fun fact, it's actually the longest running non-scripted series in TV history.
Wow.
Yeah. And it did go on to inspire shows like CSI, which obviously had 19 spin-offs. And does that show still run?
Definitely.
You can get reruns on.
But I wonder, do they actually make new episodes? I know they had the different, like,
there's like CSI,
Miami,
Las Vegas, Miami, New York.
There's a lot, yeah. So
I'd like to see CSI one really small town in America.
Yeah, just like...
Where it's just like, someone stole my sheep. Sorry.
Thank you.
That'd be hilarious. There wouldn't be any, like, serious crimes.
No. All the American listeners are so mad.
They're going to punch me in the face.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
I'm sorry.
No, we have guns, so don't worry. There's actual crimes in America. We don't have to worry about that.
Can't have them here.
Like
you can't bring your guns over here.
That's like CSI Wales.
Guns. CSI Wales. I would watch CSI Wales.
Yeah, there you
go. My Welsh grandmother would love that. Yeah. My Welsh grandmother would probably be the perpetrator of a lot of crime.
It'd be like antisocial behavior, and then the antisocial behavior is like somebody kicked the recycling bin over and like left it there.
That's probably what my grandmother does.
Yeah. Exactly.
She's an angry woman.
The first episode ever of Forensic Files was based on the disappearance of, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, is it Helly Craft? It actually, Forensic Files, the first episode debuted around the same time that Fargo came out.
Oh.
And does everyone remember the famous wood chipper?
Yes.
Scene in Fargo? Yes. So that was actually kind of based around her murder.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Her husband was convicted of killing her, but it was the first murder conviction in Connecticut without a body because he basically put her through the wood chipper. Delightful. But that is what they covered because they had the forensics around convicting him and what they were able to find. But also, he like rented a wood chipper and then somebody saw him putting something at like 3 o'clock in the morning through the wood chipper. I mean, you couldn't be any dumber, really, about the whole thing. But anyway.
It's renting a wood chipper. You'd have to clean it out before you gave it back.
I know, but exactly. It's just all of it. So many levels. It's just grim.
Like, that's the only thing I was worried about was you'd have to clean it out.
I know. That wasn't about how gruesome. She was like...
Not that he just, like, mangled a body through a wood chipper.
Again, well, we know where your head's at.
It's the subsequent cleaning.
It's the cleaning. That's nightmare.
That's a lot of spray.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about this.
What was in your coffee? In an interview, Dowling says that they always looked for like an oh my god factor to the stories. So I'm gonna give you some examples. And actually, this is really funny because I was obviously researching, a bit about this, and so I do go back to Forensic Files, like, I would say a couple times a month when I'm kind of, like, between stuff and I just want something kind of mindless to watch.
It's always there.
It's always there. And obviously it plays on Netflix in the UK. I'm not sure about the US or Canada, but I'll put it on. And funny enough, I'd already written all this, gotten all this, and then this first one, I watched the episode, was, like, my next one up, so it fit it. So I'm kind of, I can't do Peter Thomas's voice, so you just have to imagine. A doctor accused of rape implants a tube of his patient's blood into his arm, so the blood sample drawn for his DNA test wasn't his, and therefore didn't match the semen sample from the rape test kit. But the victim stole the doctor's chapstick, and the DNA from those skin cells did match, and the victim solved her own crime.
What the
fuck?
Okay, right, because I watched this episode.
He put a vial of someone else's blood in his arm.
He implanted into his, like, upper arm a tube of somebody else's blood. So that so this is what, of his patient's blood.
God.
I kid you not. Right. But this is so they do one blood test and it comes back negative because they've obviously taken it from that, right? So then she's like, well, I know it was him because I was there. How this doesn't, I don't understand. So then they do it again. Same thing happens. So the more time goes on and she's insistent. So they do it again, but they like videotape because she's thinking the police are covering something up. Like, I don't understand like what's happening here. And then they videotape this one. And at first you kind of see, and they can't get the blood out, that they're doing it all on camera. So they have it and they're showing it on the forensic files. And then they finally get it out. And then the tech was like, this is just like a weird color. Like the blood looks old. It's like weird. So then you kind of realize he implanted the tube with the blood and then left it there for years.
Oh.
That's disgusting.
Yuck.
Yeah. So the reason it looked old is because it had been in his arm for like 3 years.
Dedication, though.
Yeah. Jeez. But then they slowed down the video and eventually they could see...
Like the tube moving
The tube
around.
moved. They could see the tube move, and it was gross. Yeah, I kid you not. So that was nuts. But she was, bless her heart, because obviously it's like a smaller town, and obviously everyone in the town thought she was just crazy and like horrible and trying to ruin his life. It was nuts. But yes, so obviously that definitely has the oh my god.
That has a forensic files written all over it.
Another one is a killer in bare feet steps on a hamburger roll on his way out of the crime scene, leaving his clear footprint in the soft dough. Yes.
Can you imagine?
You fucking idiot.
I know.
Where was it on the floor? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a struggle. I don't know.
Struggle at a barbecue.
A struggle to barbecue.
That's my new band's name.
Yeah. Struggle at a barbecue.
Panic at a Disco? That's old.
No.
Struggle at a barbecue.
Yes. Okay, a piece of chewing gum.
That's going to be a great hashtag.
A piece of chewing gum found next to a dead body matches the teeth impressions of the suspect.
Jeez.
Okay, this is good. A sundial analysis proves that the time clock on a home video, the murder suspect's alibi, was not correct and had been doctored. So literally, they were able to see a sundial in the background and find out that he had doctored the time footage
On the video. Wow.
Nuts,
Whoa.
isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like forensic files, I'm not that into like dated crime stuff because obviously everything's so new and you want to know the newest. There's not. I said there is just something about
Is it the
show.
like, the nostalgia?
maybe, but it's still, I still enjoy watching them even though they're like 20 years old.
Yeah, and they are quite cheesy at parts.
Yeah.
That like I know I think it was 96 that it started, but a lot of the episodes look very 90s for
so
some
90s.
reason.
There's a lot of mustaches and hair.
Yeah.
Like interesting hairstyles and
Big hair.
Big hair.
The big
hair.
Big glasses, like
Yeah.
interesting choices of like
VHS players.
Oh yes, a lot of
Is
that.
it like cutting edge technology from like the 90s?
Yes, it's really good. But it's definitely a classic. And anyone who... You can find reruns of it on now still. And it played in 142 different countries.
Wow.
That's almost all of the country, surely.
Yeah. I mean, how many countries are there?
I don't know.
A lot.
Oh, let's not say a number just in case it's really far off.
Yeah.
We're like 7.
Yeah. I feel like we should know how many countries there are in the world. But anyway.
nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I think it's always... if you ever just want something to watch, check it out on Netflix.
I'm going to do that.